So we're going to talk about three things when it comes to pipeline management, because managing your pipeline well makes sales so easy. Imagine if you could just be on your phone, sending out payment links, collecting cash, closing deals without always worrying about the one call close, without always worrying about, okay, who is on my calendar today? You have to stress about that because a lot of you are probably not focusing on the management of your pipeline. A lot of you don't see the first initial conversations, the leads coming into your pipeline as the beginning of the relationship. And usually if you do see it as the beginning of the relationship, you see the close as the end of the relationship rather than the ongoing nature of that relationship. So let's talk about the three things. One biggest mistake I see people doing on their sales calls is not coming up with long-term plans or solutions with people. A lot of times we go through the conversation, we get to the end of the call, or maybe we had the conversation in the beginning of the call, we identified somewhere in there that this person cannot buy now. Whether it's a financial reason, usually that would probably be one of the main reasons why, or they're not a good fit, whatever. But if it comes down to the fact that the person cannot afford to move forward now, most closers I've seen, they have the mentality of either sale now or goodbye, get out of my face, get out of here. And in reality, if we're there to help people, to help them find solutions, to help guide them down the path that they need to go, regardless of whether that means buying from us or not, which is what we should be doing as closers on sales calls. We're there to diagnose the problem and provide a solution, regardless of what that solution looks like. Once we go through the call, if we do identify that the solution, the best thing they could possibly do, the best decision they could make to solve the problem that we're on the call to solve is to move forward with the product or service that we are selling, we should be willing to make a plan with them that will either work now or sometime in the future. I can't tell you how many times I've been on calls myself where I've come up with a plan for someone where they could afford to jump on board 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, whatever it is. I'm saying, you know what? Based off of your situation, I think this is the best next steps. And usually what I see instead is closers, they might do an open wallet conversation. They might find out what the financial situation is. They might go through all that stuff. But then they're like, if this person can't buy now or next month, they're gone. They're never talking to that person again. They're never hitting them up again. They're not going to help that person in any way, shape, or form. And you are missing out on a ton of deals, a ton of cash that you could be bringing in and a bunch of people's lives that you could be impacting through not making long-term plans with people. Be willing to say, you know what, this is the 6-month plan. And in those 6 months, it's not that they just do nothing. In those 6 months, this is what you should do. Or this is how you can save up the money. Let's actually brainstorm and come up with a strategy, whether it's you go drive Uber for a couple of weeks to get some extra cash on the side so that we can, piff this thing out and then fully focus on whatever it is where you enrolled to focus on. Whatever that is, come up with a plan. I've come up with plans like that for people where they're like, you know what? I'm going to go Uber every weekend, for a month, save up some cash, came back, month later, piff. There we go. Got started, right? Some people, I'm going to, helping them with their business. Like, hey, I can't afford it now, but you know what? For the next 5 months, just upload daily content, come back, boom. 5 months later, uploading tons of content. Hey, I've got all these leads now, got a little bit of cash. Let's get started. And now I'm in a better place because of that conversation. And we're picking up now. We're starting our relationship, our working relationship from an already elevated place because of the advice or the pathway you laid out for me 5 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever, right? When you do that, you might say, oh, what's the point? Oh, they're never going to come back, whatever. But even if only 1%, 5% of people did that, like came back and actually bought from you, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now on your offer, you're just going to have 5, 10 people every month just closing by being like, yo, send me the checkout link. Let's get it going. Let's get it rocking. Right? Without having to jump on another call and always worry about the one call close. Marketing goes down, Facebook ad account gets shut down, whatever. You've got 10, 20 people coming in that month from your pipeline anyways, right? So that's way number one. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you're making long-term plans with people. Second thing is to actually just nurture your leads. Nurture with content. I think that the average was 7 hours of content that the average person consumes of someone before they make a purchase for a lot of these services and coaching programs, stuff like that. Your goal should be to get everyone in your pipeline to consume over 7 hours of content. If that's your goal and you head towards that, you are going to make sales a lot easier. Time and time again, my best clients, all the time, I'm talking to them, hey, how'd you come across me, whatever. They're like, I've been watching YouTube videos. I've been watching your videos for months, weeks, days, whatever. It's always, I've been watching this. I've been watching that. I've been watching, right? So you as a closer, obviously, I'm not saying you have to go and create the content. You don't have to start a YouTube channel around what your, business sells, but you should go to whoever, the marketing team, the business owner, depending on the size of the company, go to them and get as many resources as you possibly can, as many PDF downloads, as many worksheets, as many free trainings, as many YouTube videos, and put together a list. This is what I have some people do, is I say, okay, list out all of the biggest problems, the biggest bottlenecks people are running into. Let's say we're talking about sales. Maybe that list would look like they're struggling with, handling spousal objections. They're struggling with their discovery. They're struggling with passing interviews. They're struggling with sourcing good opportunities. They're struggling with identifying opportunities. They're struggling with how to pitch and how to close. They're struggling. We're going to list all of those things out, and then I'm going to get as many, usually 1-2 pieces of content or resources or something that adds value to that problem. So maybe there's a video on how to handle spouse objections. I'm going to literally make a spreadsheet, list all of these things out. I'm going to put, okay, this is the video we have for people that are struggling with spouse objections. This is the video we have for people that are struggling with interviews and passing interviews. This is a video for people that are struggling with, formulating a solid pitch. This is the video for people that struggle with framing and kicking off the call in the right way. And I'm going to have all of these things. And then I'm going to use this as nurture content to keep my pipeline engaged. So if I get on a sales call with someone and, I'm going through the call and I find out that spousal objections is their biggest struggle and they didn't buy, what I'm going to do is, maybe a week, maybe next week, whatever my cadence is, I'm going to follow up with them with value. Too many people are following up saying, hey, are you ready to buy it? Hey, are you ready to buy it? Hey, are you ready to buy it? Nobody wants to respond to those kinds of follow-up messages, and nobody does really respond to those messages unless they're just like, oh, no, right? They're just going to say no. They're either going to ignore you or they're going to say no if all you're doing is saying, hey, do you have my money? Hey, do you have my money? Hey, do you want to pay me now? Hey, do you want to pay me now? You want to invest? They're not going to do it. So how can you keep the conversation going? How can you keep people engaged? Follow up with value. So you'll have your list of all the problems and then send them that message. Hey, Ty, I know when we spoke, handling spouse objections was your biggest issue. I think this video would be super helpful for you. Check it out. We just dropped it, or check it out, whatever. I think it's valuable. And let's say they respond and say, oh, thanks. Cool. Now you have an in, even if they don't respond, you have an in to now follow up again about their thoughts on the video, right? So now you could say, hey, well, did you get a chance to watch it? Yeah. What were your thoughts on it? We're keeping the conversation going. And as they learn more from whether it's the influencer or whatever, as they get more value from your company, the likelihood that they buy from you when they are ready and when they can afford to buy is super, super, super high. We need to stay top of mind, and we need to be the experts that can really help them with their problem. And we can do that by giving them tailored value, right? And if you want to even take it farther, you can go in your CRM and tag them by the specific problems and whatever, right? But you can nurture the heck out of people with these resources if you go and collect them without having to just follow up saying buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now. Following up with value keeps the conversation going, makes it a lot easier to make sales. Third thing that people are usually not maximizing is their referrals and early PIFs, right? You hear a lot about referrals, but I rarely ever hear people talking about early PIFs. I used to do it all the time. Early PIFs are awesome. When you need a quick cash injection, early PIFs are awesome. Awesome. So what do I mean by that? Referrals, you guys know that. You want to be asking your clients for referrals. When do you ask them for referrals? Usually you can do it right at the end of the sale when they've, obviously, made a purchase. You could do that, but I find it's a lot more effective after they get their first win, right? When they get a big win, ask them for referrals. Hey, heard about whatever, or hey, how's everything going? They're raving at you, excited about the win. Awesome, glad to hear. Is there anyone else you think that would benefit from getting our help? Oh yeah, sure. Da, da. Can you connect me with that person? 3-way conversations, whatever. Get referrals. Referrals are awesome. If you stack that up and you're getting 1, 2, 3 referrals every single month on top of your long-term planning where you're getting 1, 2, 3 of those every month, like now we're closing deals without having to get on the phones. It's awesome. You should do it. Now, early PIFs are pretty much the same thing. It's the same timing as the referrals, where if you've got someone, and this is great for ROI offers. For other offers, you can still do it depending on the person's financial situation if it was more of like a skepticism reason why they didn't pay in full. But definitely for ROI offers, like we help your business scale, we help you launch a business, anything where you help them make more money, this is great. You should be maximizing early PIFs. So they just got to win, right? Someone comes in, hey, I need help closing deals. My close rate's 10%. Cool. Work with you. 1 month later, I can only afford a 4-pay, 3-pay. Cool. 3-pay. 1 month in. Hey, my close rate doubled. It's closing at 20% now. Awesome. Why don't we go ahead, get rid of the payment plan so we can just fully focus on making you better. Let's just get that out the way. Let's PIF that out, get that out the way, and just focus on improving your skill set. And, obviously you would word this depending on the actual offer, but I would do this all the time. Get them the result. If that result leads to them getting way more money, like especially if the amount that they're getting from your help in that short time frame is more than what it would take for them to PIF out the rest. Like let's say they need to pay another 5K or they need to pay another 3K, and you just help them close a couple extra clients and they just made 10K, 20K, 15K, whatever. Yeah, in a lot of cases, they'd be more than happy to just PIF out the rest so they don't have to worry about it. Because they're on a high, they're happy, they're excited. They're like, man, this person just helped me go from this to this. Person just helped me make an extra 10K. Yeah, I'll give them the 3K left that I owe them, whatever. Who cares? Let's get that out of the way and let's keep crushing, right? So those early PIFs are awesome because, let's say you're behind, on quota. You're like, I need to hit projections. So many times, need to hit projections. Friday night, let me just start calling people. Let me just start calling people and see who I can get across the line to either early PIF or my pipeline that I've nurtured for a while that I can get going, right? If you manage your pipeline well, sales becomes a lot easier, right? You can consistently get better at the one call close, of course. But if you're also not managing your pipeline, you're making it harder than it needs to be. You just are. So do it, make more money, help more people, enjoy life. Hopefully that helps. See you guys in the next video.